And so that's more what this is about. But the reason that I am doing this video today is I do want to communicate that I understand that it's complicated, that deciding to open a journal and free write for 10 minutes without any limitations and saying anything you want and need, and being as vile and crass and uncensored as you can possibly be can be difficult, because I think for a lot of us, we are contained. We have been taught, especially women, we have been taught to be contained because the world can't handle our rage. It is afraid of our rage. And so what happens when we get a handle on our rage and we decide that that rage is not going to eat us from within? We're going to let it out on paper and then let our true powerful selves out. I can't even imagine. I mean, the world, women in the world, especially Black and brown women, doing most of the labor and work for justice and for equality and liberation. I mean, they're already stepping in their power. How much more can we step into as people when we let this rage out? And so I want to clarify something. By letting rage out, I'm not suggesting even for a second that people that commit wrong should be let off the hook for that wrong. What I am saying is that wrong done to us, we should not have to carry. That is bullshit. We should not have to carry around with us the wrong and the violations that other people gave us. The violation was enough. I mean, that is beyond enough. But to be able to fully expel, or I said I feel like I've been exfoliating my insides for the last 2 weeks, which has been good, 100% good, and also complicated. I'm just suggesting that when we put this on paper, when we get this out of us, then we can focus our attention on the present and on the things that need our attention more fully. And this stuff doesn't eat away at us, and we can be free. And that's what I want. I mean, I kept saying over and over again, I've inherited fear. And the other one I journaled with was it wasn't feeling broken. It was, let me pause for a second. It was, damaged goods. I felt like damaged goods. I'm not making fun of it. But that's another thing that I felt like I inherited by the violation, by being an accident for my parents, by being the reason they stayed together, by kind of, things that they couldn't control either, like being the second born and kind of being overlooked once they had 4 kids in the house, and, being dyslexic and not really fitting, and all of those things that some of that my parents had no control over. It just was the way it was. But there are things, yes, that they could have done to make that an easier way to be in the world, and they did not do it. And they did not also work on their own shit, so I then had to carry that shit and try to work on their shit while also trying to work on my own, while also trying to not give mine to my kids. Who out there knows what that feels like? Because it is really hard to work on your own stuff while also trying to raise children and not take it out on those children and spare those children from the things that you weren't spared for. Anyway, I'm going to keep talking about rage because we are in a time now where, if we're not feeling some kind of rage by the disparities and white supremacy that is in our nation, the United States, and in the world as a whole, if we aren't experiencing some kind of rage, against the system, and against the system that is making those disparities so clear because of how it runs. And now we're seeing even more clearly how those systems prey on people because of COVID-19. If we're not experiencing some rage from that, then we are not paying attention. And we need to pay attention because this world needs us to be awake, and it needs us to care. And we can care more when we get rid of more inside of us. And we've got to get rid of that stuff. We've got to exfoliate it from within. So, it is normal to be fearful of rage when that's what you've been given. That's the rule book that you've been given. Also, if you've grown up in religion, which I have, it is very against rage. I don't think Jesus was probably against rage, or Muhammad. I think it's society that's against rage because rage is harder to control. So take care of yourself, and if the journaling isn't for you, that's completely fair. But find a way to exfoliate, to release, to get that poison out so that it doesn't go on people that don't deserve it. Like, one, you, and then the people that you love. Because it really, that's what happens. When we're squeezed, it really goes on the people that we don't want it to hit. So take care of yourself. Remember that I'm thinking about you, that I'm doing the hard work too, and you are worth knowing, you are worth loving, you are worth being in this world. Remember who you are.